Hello, this is Joe from Bombard Games, and this time I am going to show you how to play this scripted solitaire uh, version of Spectrum using the Spectrum cards. So on TTS, this is the way you're going to do it. At home, obviously, you just pull out your cards. But what you'll need to do first is we're going to want to get rid of some boards here. So we're going to hit L, unlock the board. You can see as soon as I hit L, when I'm hovering over it with my cursor, it gets a white border that says it's unlocked. If I hit L again, you see the white border goes away, so it's locked. That means I can't pick it up and drag it. But let's unlock it. We're going to hit delete. We're going to do the same thing with this board underneath. So we've gotten rid of two boards, and then we're going to lasso these pawns and get rid of them. So now we have nothing in our way. If you want to, you can even get rid of these. We might need to unlock one of them. Yep. But then the first thing you need to do is to grab the deck that's on the board and put it in the draw deck area, right? So in here. The second thing you're going to need to do is you need to unlock and flip each of these checkers because they hide the buttons underneath the boards. And if the buttons are showing, you can accidentally click them. So to play, we unlock them. We hit L, unlock, and F for flip. And if you want to, you can hit L for lock again. And let's do the same for all three. L to unlock, F to flip, L to lock it again, and again, L to unlock, F to flip, L to lock. So now we have our buttons, and we can set up the game. So first thing, step one, set up the bottom cards. And what we're playing here is a version of Canfield, but with 12 piles instead of 7, and 12 foundation piles to build out instead of just 4 when you play with a 52-card deck. So 144 cards to get sorted out and to line up and get into the foundation piles. Let's get it going. The down cards go. Step two, we'll set up the top cards. So now, essentially, we don't need these buttons anymore. If you can delete them, or you can just leave them there. You're never going to touch them. And now let's take a look at where our board has given us. So as you see, I'm going to move up here a little bit. What you're allowed to do in solitaire is you're allowed to play cards numerically just like you do in normal solitaire, but they must be a shade of the card above it. So let's see, do we have any we can move? Of course, it's going to be because oh, here we go. So for example, 6 blue purple can go onto the 7 purple, right? It's one lower, and it is a shade of the card that it's laying on top of. So essentially, every card has 3 colors that can be laid upon it. In this case, for the purple, it could be the purple, a blue purple, or a purple red. For the card next to it, for this green blue, we could find a 4 of either green, a 4 of blue, or the 4 green blue. Any of those 3 cards would be allowed to go on this card, right? And it's other than it is simple solitaire, but it is much more difficult with this many cards and this many foundation piles is really the key. You have to find right 12 ones before you can really build them all out as opposed to just 4 aces. So let's see what's happening here on this next card. And there we go. We can see this is going to be 12 orange yellow. Do we have any 10s? We really don't have a really good board set up here. Now, I'm sure because I'm doing a tutorial, I'll get 100 comments saying you missed that. Well, we can move the green blue over to the 6 blue. That looks legal, right? Let's get that out of the way. We'll pull a card out of here. 6 purple red. That kind of got in our way. And one of the big things you're going to find in this version of Solitaire or Spectrum Solitaire is you need to move in the tableaus a lot more than you do in normal solitaire because 3 cards can fit on different ones as opposed to normally 2 because you're doing black red or like that. There's a lot more movement that can happen, which frees up more spaces when you need it when you start drawing cards. So that's one of the big things to take away from this is really try to look if you can move cards within the tableau to free up the space you need because it's going to happen quite often. And I don't see too many more moves we can actually make here. Somebody will probably tell me I'm wrong later, but let's assume that I'm right and we can't. All you need to do to keep playing is hit deal 3 cards, and this is the active card that you're allowed to play. Can we play a 2 orange anywhere? Well, we only have 1 3, which is the blue. Obviously, we have no 1s out here yet, so this looks like a bust. Let's move on to the next pile of 3. That would be the 8 blue purple. I don't even think we have a 9 on the board. We do not, so that's a bust. There's 9 red orange, but I think the only 10 we have is this yellow. Oh, there we go. We have 9. This can go right here, right? And now do we have an 8 in any color? No. And the 11 orange, this 11 orange can come over here. So you can see the pattern happening here. You're allowed to lay a shade of the color, one lower, obviously just like normal solitaire. And the 9, that's going to be able to go here. So we're making good progress now. Probably take a look around, see if there's anything that kind of move around. 8's, the 8's the green. We haven't got anything there. With the 10, that changed to an orange. And this would be a time where you might want to move things around. Red does not go on there. So it looks like we're kind of stuck. We're back to the 8 blue purple. And I don't think that's going to go anywhere right now. So then we'd have to draw 3 more cards, right? And that 11's not going to go anywhere. That 11's not going to go anywhere. We're getting a lot of high cards that we can't put anywhere. Oh, and here we go. For example, so here's our first one. We'll put that up here. And this is where we'll this is where we'll build out blue purple. So if we had blue purple 2, we could bring that up into the area. We have unfortunately purple 2, which we cannot bring up there. The foundations must be built in the color itself, no shading. That's shading's done down in the tableaus. Oh, hello, there's one purple. Speak of the devil. Let's put him up there. We can now bring 2 on top of him, right? And we can see what this has come up. Oh, okay. That was not so good. And one thing you're allowed to do, you may want to do this once in a while, although this, not with probably 2's and 3's, but for example, if this was a 7 and this was a 6, you already built it out, you are allowed to bring cards back into play. Now, like I said, you wouldn't do it with a 2, but it is legal to move cards back out of the foundation, back into the tableau, if we can help you in any way. Let's see what's going on down here. Oh, wait a second. Is this all good old 2 purple red? Well, somebody is looking out for us here, because that can go right here. And that brings us back to the 10, which I don't think we can play. The 4 can probably go right here. Do we have the 3 that will move? No, that 3 won't move onto there. 7 green blue, that can go over here. We have a 6 that can move. So this is a chance where let's say we had a 6 red purple here. For example, let's just pretend this card is 6 red purple. It really wouldn't go here. It would go here, but I'd need to move this 6 somewhere. And in this case, if you look, this is a blue shade, blue purple, onto green blue. So it'd be legal to move this 6 over. And if this 6 were the now purple red, I could get it onto the board by placing it here. Not what's happening right now, but it was a way to show you that this kind of movement, tableau to tableau, is important. And we may not see it in the length of the video here. So I thought I'd try to show you what it's like. In an example at least. So that 3 is not going to go anywhere. The 4 is going to be able to go here, and now we can move the 3 over. Oops, just kind of line that up a little better. And let's see what we expose. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Aha! Well, that might not help us right this second, but there were a bunch of 11s, I think, that were orangey red at the beginning of the deck here that we might be able to find at some point next time through. Let's see, this one's going to be able, we might be able to work our way backwards to it at the way we're going here. There's 10. That's not going to help us. Can we move a 7? Nope. That 7 won't go. Pretty sure we're kind of stuck here. Oh, wait. Nope. Sorry. Got to keep looking. Like I said, this is a lot more cards to look at. The 9, this is where, again, we can move this 9. If this happened to be a 9 we wanted to get on the board. Not the case right now. Again, this is another one. This 3 could move. We could get this 3 on the board, but we don't have the opportunity. Let's just keep going here. Even if I miss something, I kind of want to get to the end of the deck. Red, orange. So here's exactly what we could do. Get this red, orange legally onto this 9, and now this 8's into the board, because it can go onto this 9, but it can't go onto this 9. And that's a great example. Oh, and now, this might be an example where you kick yourself if you really needed to get a yellow-green out there and you just put out a yellow. You cannot really take it back into your pile. So once you kind of committed to a move, you're kind of stuck with it. And in this case, I might have wanted to have this yellow-green in here instead. Then I can move this 7. I mean, it's not a big deal right now, but later in the game when you really want a certain card to come out and you make a move thinking, oh, I'll get this one out and I'll be ready, and it comes out the next card, you're just like, oh, geez. If I had known it was under there, I would have just skipped it. 2 red, orange. Let's see. That's not going to go anywhere because we only got the 3 down to there. I mean, we got 27. Well, we got a lot to go here. So we might have to speed this up and just pretend that you know what you're doing here. So I just want to show you what happens at the end here. There was a 1. We had some good cards. So as we approach the end of the deck, there's 9 left. There's 6 left. So you can see now there's 3 cards left. So what's going to happen once I hit this? With the scripting, it pulls the last 3 cards out, puts them here for you to play, and then takes the whole deck that you expended, flips it over, shuffles it, and it's ready back for play. And so the only exception is if you happen to use all 3 of these cards, you get them all onto the board. If you need to use the next card, which you would be allowed to, you can just flip the deck there, start pulling off cards until you get stuck, reflip the deck, get everything back into play here. Whoops, that was the wrong order. Get everything back into play here, assuming there wouldn't be any if you did all that, but let's assume you couldn't place this 3 and keep going. And every time you reach the bottom of the deck, it'll do the same thing. And that's basically how you play Spectrum Solitaire. I would estimate I can win this game about probably around 10 to 15% of the time. There are scoring rules, so you can kind of see how you're doing. And if it was timed and you played somebody else, you can kind of compare each other's score to see who won, per se. But it's a solo game, and it's kind of like a nice, relaxing kind of game. Not so relaxing that you don't have to pay attention, but it's kind of like a nice mind puzzle to do. So I hope you enjoy Spectrum Solitaire. Here's the scripted version. Obviously, at home you can just deal it out, or if you wanted to and wanted to suffer through it, you could deal it out here too, but the scripted version is much better here. Again, you just delete the boards to get down here, and it's pretty self-explanatory. If you ever played Solitaire, you'll pick it up in a minute. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please enjoy and try Spectrum Solitaire, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Until then, happy gaming.